Labdien, tauta! Šodien es nāku pie jums ar jaunu video. React šodien bija plānā šodien uzfilmēt 2-1, kas ir futbola sērijas ar Norbertu, bet Norberts ir saslims. Sūdīgi jūtās, un es arī īstenībā diezgan sūdīgi jūtos, bet, lai jums ir video, es domāju uztaisīt vismaz reactu. Protams, viņi ir visvieglāk samontēt un tam līdzīgi, tādēļ, šodien būs reacts. Šodien mēs skatīsimies video tūlītās 5 extremely creepy mysteries, jeb vienkārši, creepy video. Un skatīsimies un mēģināsim, varbūt atrast kaut ko, redzēt kaut ko. Un, protams, pēc tam video beigās padiskutēšu par to, kas man liekas, varbūt tur notika un saprotat mani tā kā tā. Tad ceļamies klāt video, aiziet.
So, I've done 5 mind-boggling mysteries of the world, and those really make you scratch your head. But instead of making you scratch your head, these mysteries will make you lock your doors and windows. Just make sure you stay for the last one, because things are going to get super mysterious.
Okay.
Once first heard, it never goes away. It can only be heard indoors, and during the night it gets louder, driving some people to take their own lives. It's called the hum, and around the 1970s, reports started spreading that people were becoming bedeviled by an annoying, low-frequency humming, throbbing and rumbling sound. You may have famously heard of the Bristol hum in other videos, as this is where the hum seemed to originate from, but the hum definitely isn't unique to just there. It's actually heard around the world, and the hum has driven virtually every one of its victims to the point of despair. As well as keeping people up, the hum has also been known to cause nausea, headaches, dizziness, nosebleeds and depression. At first, it was thought that victims were just suffering from tinnitus, which is the perception of sound where no external sound is present, but repeated testing has found that many victims have completely normal hearing and no trace of tinnitus. And what makes things even more creepy is that despite being heard by many, various sound detection devices are not able to pick it up, and it's also believed at least 1 to 3 suicides in the United Kingdom alone has been blamed on the constant hum driving people insane. Most researchers investigating the hum express great confidence that the phenomenon is real and not the result of mass hysteria, and more than 40 years on, the true origin of the hum has not been discovered. The mystery of the SS Orang Medan. What happened to the SS Orang Medan, or Man from Medan, is perhaps one of the most fascinating and mind-boggling mysteries that have ever existed in seafaring history. It all started on a February day in 1948, when numerous ships near Indonesia received some distressed calls from the Dutch freighter SS Orang Medan. The chilling message was, "All officers, including captain, are dead, lying in chart room and bridge. Possible whole crew dead." This message was followed by indecipherable Morse code, then one final grisly message, "I die," then nothing more. A rescue party was sent to locate the ship, and a few hours later the first rescue vessel found the SS Orang Medan. They shouted for a response, but there was nothing. After trying hand and whistle signals, there was still no response from the ship. A boarding party was sent onto the ship, and what they found was a frightening sight. All the crew and officers of the Orang Medan were dead, their eyes open, faces looking towards the sun, arms outstretched, and a look of terror on their faces. Even the ship's dog was dead, found snarling at some unseen enemy. The rescue crew felt a cold chill despite the temperature being near 110 degrees Fahrenheit. The decision was made to tow the ship back to port, but before they could get underway, a fire broke out in the ship's number 4 cargo hold, forcing the boarding party to evacuate the Dutch freighter, thus preventing any further investigation. Soon after, the Orang Medan was observed to explode and sink. To this day, the exact fate of the Orang Medan and her crew remain a mystery. Some say that pirates killed the crew and sabotaged the ship. Others claim that she was transporting an illicit cargo of chemicals such as potassium cyanide and nitroglycerine, both of which can become dangerous when combined with seawater. Many also suggest the crew may have been attacked by UFOs prior to their deaths. The apparent absence of a natural cause of death, the reportedly terrified expressions on the faces of the deceased, and rumours that some of the dead were pointing towards an unknown enemy suggest maybe it was something much darker. But what really happened to the Orang Medan? The only ones who know for sure rest at the bottom of the ocean. The mysterious Russian radio station UVB-76. Since at least 1992, a shortwave radio station that broadcasts on 4624 kHz has been emitting a monotonous grinding buzz sound at the rate of about 25 buzzes per minute. This phenomenon has been nicknamed the buzzer, and before 1992 it was just a series of strange Morse code-style beeps, but after 1992, on rare occasions the pitch and amplitude of the sound changes, and occasionally it is interrupted by an eerie male voice speaking in Russian. The man recites lists of numbers, names, and sometimes spells out words. And it's these voice messages that are the most eerie part of the UB76 mystery station. On the 18th of March 2014, one day after Crimea voted to join the Russian Federation, the following message was heard.
Olga, Boris, Znak, Yakov, Vasily, Leonid, Елена, Nikolai, Anna, Konstantin, Olga,
What the fuck?
Mikhail, Anna.
The whole thing is very strange, and despite the government and radio stations being asked, no one knows where it's coming from. Some speculate that it is used by the Russian military for communications, while others suggest that it is used to study the ionosphere, but to this day, we at least don't know where it's coming from.
Tas bija weird as fuck, but
Minnie and her husband William Winston had been renting a 6-room red brick home in southwest Atlanta for 22 years. Nothing strange seemed to be going on with the place, but just before midnight on September the 8th, 1987, when Minnie stepped out of the shower, she noticed that the bathroom floor was covered in splotches of blood. Mrs. Winston immediately woke her 79-year-old husband, saying, "Come look at all this red stuff coming out of the floor." Spots of blood ranging in size from a dime to a silver dollar were found on the floor and lower walls in the bathroom, bedroom, kitchen, basement, and every hall. The substance was also located under a television and in a narrow, nearly inaccessible crawl space in the basement. A homicide detective said that in his 10 years of service, he's never seen anything like this. He called it an extremely strange situation. Detectives hoped it was an animal, but after actually testing the blood, it was human. It was thought that it could have been William's. However, Mr. Winston seemed to reject his blood as the solution to the mystery, saying, "I don't know what that stuff is," and the blood test would back him up. The blood was O-type, and both William and Minnie's blood was A-type. They had no idea where it was coming from, and did not enjoy the fact the media were bombarding their home, labeling it the house that bleeds. One reporter who gained uninvited access to the house said he found spots of blood on the floor and lower walls of the living room, and a quarter-sized splotch on the back door. The Homicide Bureau and the State Crime Lab never identified the source of the blood, nor did they detect any indication of a hoax or crime, so we will never know the exact origin of the mystery blood. The mysterious death of Elisa Lam. I wasn't lying when I said I would save the best for last. In February 2013, a 21-year-old student from Vancouver, Canada, was found dead inside the Cecil Hotel's rooftop lobby in Los Angeles. The LA coroner ruled the death as accidental due to drowning and said no traces of drugs or alcohol were found during the autopsy. End of story. However, there is much more to this tragic event than what is implied by police reports. The first being a ridiculously creepy surveillance tape that recorded Elisa's strange behavior in the hotel elevator only a few moments before she somehow ended up in the water tank and lost her life. Here is some of the footage from the elevator surveillance camera, warning this is very strange and distressing.
Okay. Kāpēc lifts nebrauc ciet? Nē, kaut kas nav tā meitene, noķipa skaidri prāt. Nu, tā neviens cilvēks neuzvestos. Kāpēc lifts nevarās ciet, to es nesaprotu. Redzēt, meitene uztraucās, jūdzās, kaut kas tam līdzīgs. Vismaz es tā domāju, ka jūdzās. Visi pogas spiež, nu, bet nevarās dūrs, what the fuck, kā var nevērties dūrs, izstāstiet man. Kā? ko runā tur, ja viņi kaut ko runā. Ar sevi. Nu, ar sevi par ļobomu runā. Es lieku ar sevi. Nē, nu tur kaut kas ar galvu, man liekas. Nav tā, nu, psiholoģiski kaut kas, es tā es domāju. Un kāpēc tieši aizvērās tēt? Ko?
At first, Elisa enters the elevator and apparently presses all of its buttons. She then waits for something to happen, but for some reason, the elevator door doesn't shut. She starts to look around as if she's expecting or hiding from someone or something. Her arms and hands start moving in a very strange manner as she appears to be talking to someone. She then walks away, the elevator door coincidentally shuts and appears to start working again. Right after the events of that footage, Elisa apparently gained access to the locked and alarmed rooftop of the hotel, climbed up 10 feet to its water tank and somehow ended up drowning in it. Bearing in mind the opening to the water tank was only 16 inches, her body was found 2 weeks after her death, after hotel guests complained about the water's taste and colour. Seeing the surveillance footage, most people would conclude that she was under the influence of drugs, but like I said, Elisa did not have a history of drug use, and her autopsy concluded that no drugs were involved. What happened to Elisa Lam? Why was she acting erratic as if she was being chased by an unseen force? How did she end up on the roof, dead in the water tanks? I don't think anyone will know for sure, but it's certainly one of the creepiest mysteries I have ever heard of, and I think you'll agree. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed the video. It really does mean a lot. Thanks again, and see you next week for 5 terrifying...
Jā, wow. Nu ko, interesanti. Ja godīgi par katru lietu, man tur grūti ir paredzēt, jo tas ir diezgan interesanti, un tā sāksim ar pirmo lietu. Pirmo par to hubu, nu, dzirdēšanu, to balss. Es teiktu, ka... Nu, gan jau kaut kā, es pēc cik godīgi nemācēšu pateikt, kāpēc, bet, nu, es lieku, kad varētu būt, kad vienkārši, nu, ir tā, nu, ne slimība, es nezinu, slimība tā noteikti nav. Es pat šīs nevaru izskaidrot, bet, nu, diezgan traki izklausās, ka tu nevari gulēt, ka tu tur dizīnes, galva reibst, asins pa degunu, diezgan traki. Tā, nu jā, tādēļ, wow, diezgan crazy. Tā otrā lieta, to es atradīsim. Pa kuģi. Kuģis liekas visinteresantākais. Es teiktu, ka kad nu, es nelieku, ka citplanētieši, nu, maz iespējams, ka citplanētieši, bet, nu, jā, jocīgi, kad viņi visi bija tādās formās un nu, ritīgi bāli un tam līdzīgi, bet es teikšu, kad es domāju, ka es izmākotu pirāti, bet jā, bet kā, es nezinu, tur nebija teiks, vai viņi ir sašauti vai atrada kaut kādas nu, ievainojumus viņiem, vai ne? No kā viņi nomira. Jā, tā kā tas ir interesanti. Un nu, zin kā, vai ir kaut kāds dūriens griezums vai loģis šāviens, tad, nu, saprotiet man. Tā kā tas ir interesanti. Tā kā, jā. Es teiktu, ka, nu, man... Es liekas, ka pirāti, bet, nu, ja nav nekāda ievainojuma, tad laikam, kad varbūt es kļūdos. Tā, pa to Krievu, rādījumiem likās baigi krīpīt, tas video pilnīgi zosādu uzmetās. Es pat nezinu. Nu, varbūt iespējams ir kaut kādi Krievu militārā secret, kaut kādi kodi, ko saka, es pat nezinu. Nu, iespējams. Jo, nu, savādāks izskaidrojums, man liekas, nevarētu būt. Ne, nu, gan jau, ka var, bet es varbūt vienkārši nevaru iedomāties, ja kādam ir cits izskaidrojums, droši komentāros ierakstīt. Un tad, kas tur vēl bija? Pa to māju ar asinīm. Tas likās baigi jocīgi. Es pat negribās par tādām lietām ticēt, ka tas ir. Nu, zin kā, es arī varētu izdomāt kaut kādu faktu, ķipa, un pateikt, ka tā bija tajā gadā tāda situācija, blā, blā, blā. Ne, nu, protams, es šaubos, ka cilvēks ir izdomājis un meklējis vienkārši, nu, meklējis, kā saka, ir, un atradis. Tādēļ, nu, jocīgi, pat kādēļ. Tur pat man nav ko teikt kādēļ. Tiešām ļoti, ļoti jocīgi. Un pa pēdējo, pa to elevator video, jeb meiteni, kas hotelī ūdens tvertnē, kā saka, jā, noslīka un nu, man liekas, ka cilvēks vienkārši kaut kas viņam ar galvu, kā saka, nu psiholoģiski nav kārtībā, un man liekas, tur ir tā vaina, jo, nu, bet jocīgi, ka lifts nevērās ciet, tas man vienīgais liekas visjocīgākais, ka lifts nevērās ciet, viņi tiešām spied visas pogas, un nevērās liftsietis, viņi izgāja ārā, pagāja tālāk un viņš aizvērās. Jocīgi tas ir. Tad varbūt kāds kontrolē. Es nezinu, nu man liekas, ka tur psiholoģiski, bet tas man vienīgais liek apšaubīt to teoriju, ka tās lifta durvis nevērās ciet, kad vajadzēja. Tā kā, jā, tas laikam arī ir viss. Ja patīk šis video, protams, nospiediet laiku, abonēt kanālu, neesat abonējuši, aprakstā ir links uz oriģinālo video, droši aiziet iečkojiet, un tad jau tiekamies nākamajos video. Un jā, nesaslimstiet ar gripu, tagad gripa ir, un tad jau vesļoties, ja kāds ir arī saslims, vesļoties. Un tiekamies nākamajos video. Peace!